Guys, what's going on? So today we're going to hit more body weight stuff, more of the basics, more of the fundamentals. I'm going to start off, I'm going to do a few supersets. First one will be a push-pull superset, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on the pull-ups, one pull-up up to 5 pull-ups, a ladder, but after each pull-up I'll come down and do that corresponding number of push-ups. So if that makes sense, I'm going to go 1 pull-up, 1 push-up, 2 pull-ups, 2, 3, 3. We'll go 1 to 5, then we'll do 5 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 1, and whatever. So I think we'll do a total of 5 sets. And each round that we do is 15 reps, right? So a 1 to 5 ladder is 15 reps. So each round that we do, we'll do 15 pull-ups and 15 push-ups. Real quick, I wanted to address a comment that was left on it was actually on one of my older videos, a guy by the name of Mung T, I believe. He says, may I ask if you exercise on an empty stomach in the morning? Yes and no. This morning, I started this workout probably about 7 a.m. The last time I had eaten was, let's say 8 o'clock last night. So about 11 hours removed from my last meal. I don't always work out in the morning. I'm very bad at time management, so my workouts could be any time during the day. On an average day, I eat twice a day, so my workout, given my druthers, I would work out in the morning all the time. Having not eaten for 10, 11, 12, 14, whatever it is, however many hours, I'm perfectly fine doing that. I usually just fuel my workouts with my black coffee. But if it's going to be an afternoon workout, it's certainly going to be a few hours removed from that first meal. And if I'm going to work out at night, it's definitely going to be a few hours after my second meal. I cannot work out with the feeling or still feeling like I have food in my stomach. It does not work for me. It doesn't go well when I do that. So I have to feel pretty much empty when I'm working out. So again, in a perfect world, if I could, fasted for that, have, no food for 10, 12, 14 hours, I'm perfectly fine. But if I'm going to work out, after a meal, it's going to be at least 3 to 4 hours after that meal to make sure I'm good and digested and I don't feel anything in my stomach. All right, guys, superset number one is down, the push pull, or actually pull push. We got 5 rounds of that. So we'll go to the lower half now. We're going to hit some static lunges, and we're going to superset those static lunges with some squats. And I will hold on to the rubber band to add a little bit of extra resistance on those squats. So a static lunge, I'm just going to get into a lunge position, 90 degrees pretty much, and I'm going to pulse up and down. Now you want to make sure you stop before that front knee locks out, right? You don't want to be locking that out at the top. So just before you lock out, you're going to stop and go back down. 10 reps on each leg with that. Right from there, we'll jump into some body weight squats, and I will hold on to the rubber band just to add a little extra resistance on the squats. So 10 and 10 with the lunges, and we'll hit 15 squats, and we'll do that for a total of 5 rounds. So let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get into our third superset. We're going to hit pull-ups, and without coming off the bar, we'll go right into some knee raises hanging from the bar. And we're just going to do a descending ladder by 2. We'll do 5 sets, and it's going to be 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. That's going to give us 30 reps of each exercise. So it'll be 30 pulls and 30 knee raises. All right, guys, that's done. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 with the pulls and the knee raises. We'll do one more superset. Same rep scheme, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. I'm going to do dips into more knee raises, but I'll do them right here on the dip bars. Okay, so the same rep scheme, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, dips into knee raises. So I just wanted to piggyback on what I just mentioned about the way I eat or don't eat before I work out. You know, I see this every single time I'm in a gym, I'll see somebody who's obviously overweight and they're on a treadmill or they're doing some type of workout. Right next to them or in their hand is going to be some type of energy drink, a bottle of Gatorade, which is nothing but sugar. So I want you to keep in mind that the way the body works is when we eat, the body can burn two fuels. The first one it's going to go for, the easiest one for it to burn, is going to be glucose or sugar, right? So when we eat, our body stores sugar in our liver, in our muscles. Unfortunately, all the excess sugar that we eat, and most of us eat way more than we need, than we should be eating, that's going to be converted to fat. But my point is, your body, when it needs energy quickly, it's going to access that sugar, which is actually stored in the form of glycogen in your body. So anyway, it's going to burn the sugar is my point. Now, if your intent is to lose weight, i.e. body fat, you want to be in a position where when your body needs fuel, it doesn't have any sugar to access. Because if there's sugar there to access, it's not going to burn body fat, right? Its primary source of energy is always going to be that sugar because it's so easily accessible. The body fat is sort of stored away, locked away, so the body has to work a little harder to get at it. So if you keep feeding your body sugar, in other words, if you're a guy who's looking to lose weight and you're going to the gym and you're running on a treadmill or you're running around a track, I'm going to do cardio and I'm going to burn fat. If you're simultaneously feeding your body sugar in the form of Gatorade or an energy drink or any of these things that are nothing but liquid sugar, all you're doing is using that sugar for fuel. You're not touching body fat. So you have to think, guys, your health is always going to be the nutrition. You don't control your weight with exercise. You control your weight with what you eat, how much you eat, how often you eat. So you have to keep that in mind. This nonsense that I can eat whatever I want, which if you think that, you're absolutely delusional. Thinking I can eat what I want and then I'm going to go to Planet Fitness and jump on a treadmill and just erase it all by doing an hour on a treadmill, you're sadly mistaken. So many of us, the majority of people, grossly overestimate the amount of food you need, especially somebody that's overweight. You talk about, how am I going to get my calories? I'm going to starve if I don't get my calories. If you're 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 or more pounds overweight, you have more than enough food strapped around your waist to keep you alive for a long, long time. I promise you. I promise you. So keep that in mind, guys. You have to be aware of what you're doing. Again, and then it'll go back to, without getting into a rant, at some point, when you're starting out your fitness journey, or if your goal is to lose weight or change your body composition, you have to educate yourself on what you're putting in your body. The best way to do it is to track your macros. I've said it before. You get something like Chronometer or MyFitnessPal. Track what you're doing. Not every day for the rest of your life, but for the foreseeable future, until you learn and you start to see, wow, I didn't realize there was that many calories. I didn't realize the fat content in that. I didn't realize that there was so much sugar in that. Because most people are really ignorant when it comes to what we're putting. And it's the most important part of your fitness journey, is what goes in your mouth.